Hi, I'm Andrea. Thanks for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I'm standing on a yoga mat, but if you don't have one, don't let that discourage you from practicing with us today. Just find a place in your house that's not too slippery, maybe carpeted or a rug. Also, you'll notice that I have a couple of blocks. Maybe you have thick books that you can substitute. I've got a folded towel. That could be your kitchen towel, a hand towel, just something maybe to pad your knees with or to sit on if we get to that. A bolster could be the cushion from your couch. And I always like to have a chair, especially today we're going to do something that I think is it's useful to have a chair. You can also use a wall as well, but something just to put our hands on for some balance. Let's start in Tadasana, which is where we often start, but I'd like us to take a special moment to really notice our balance on 2 feet. It's kind of ongoing, isn't it? Let's play with that a little bit, like lean onto your right foot and then onto your left foot. Go a bit back and forth. And then with both feet on the ground, lean a little bit back and a little bit forward. Whoop, right? So with our 2 feet on the ground, it's a little easier to balance, especially as we move around on our feet. We could go back side to side a couple times. Stand on your right foot, lift your left foot just an inch off your mat for a moment. Really hug that outer right hip into the midline. Then stand on your left leg and do the same. Lift your right foot, hug your left hip underneath you. Super important mechanics for stability. And then one more time, stand on your right leg, hug your right hip underneath you, left leg lifts. Bloop. I'm toppling. And then stand on your left foot, lift your right foot, hug your left hip underneath you. Stand on both feet. Let's refine our mountain pose. A little soft bend in our knees, evenness as best we can in our 2 feet since they're on the ground. Lean your head back a little. That doesn't mean lift your chin, and just think ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. If you turn your palms away from each other and you do that at the shoulder joint, there will be a natural uplift of your chest. Think chin parallel to the ground. Adding movement. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. And then exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands onto your thighs. Traction your hands on your thighs as you inhale and uplift your heart, and it feels like your collarbones are smiling. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips, but always keep your head higher than your hips. And then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Float your arms along your side, palms face out. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and feel evenness as best you can in both feet, even though we're moving. Hands on your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Pause in the even stance of your mountain pose. Inhale, V shape, arms overhead. Exhale, awareness of evenness in your feet as we fold. Hands onto your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. And then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Pause in your mountain, palms face out. This time our V shape becomes a chair pose. Bend your knees, keep your thumbs to the sky, and then straighten your legs and float your arms along your sides, palms face out again. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Straighten your legs and float your arms along your sides. One more time, chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Straighten your legs, pause, palms face out. Appreciate both feet on the ground, 2 feet. We're going to change that in a moment. Chair pose. Now this time as you stand and bring your arms alongside you, stand on your left foot, bring your right knee towards your chest. We're not holding on. Chair pose, feet hip distance, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Stand onto your right foot, bring your left knee towards your chest. We'll go back and forth, chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Stand on your left leg, right knee to your chest. Chair pose, V pose, or V with your arms. Stand on your right foot, left knee towards your chest. Chair pose. Right knee to your chest. Chair pose. Left knee to your chest. One more time like that. Chair. And right knee. Chair. And left knee, and then stand into your mountain. So we're playing a little bit with balance. We'll keep doing that. Let's use now the back of our chair, or if you prefer to walk to a wall, you can do that. The back of a chair feels like kind of exactly the right height to me for this. Now remember how we're playing with 1 foot, 2 foot? Shift your weight onto your right foot. Take your hands onto the back of your chair. So we're quite high with our hands. That keeps our head above our hips. A little bend in both knees so we're soft. We're not locked out. We don't feel like we're a statue. Stand onto your right leg and start to float your left leg back behind you. Think of turning your body into a letter T, and then what you might do is just see what it's like to be a little lighter on your hands, whether that's fingertips on the wall or hands on the back of your chair, because we're just playing with balance, and now we're on 1 foot. And do you remember when we rolled back and forth and side to side on both feet to discover that that action happens all the time? Boy, do you feel that in that 1 foot, huh? You can feel that you're rolling all over the place just in search of balance. Last couple of moments here. And then just step your left foot hip distance from your right. Come into your mountain. Appreciate 2 feet on the ground. We'll shift now with a soft bend in our knees, all weight onto our left foot. Hands to the back of your chair, or maybe you're using a wall or even the arm of your sofa. Right leg lifts back behind you now, and it's sort of a little letter T feeling that we get into here. We're balanced just upon our left leg now. And there's no pressure to do this, but it can be interesting to get a little lighter on your hands on your chair or on your wall, just to experiment with all those movements, or you can feel your muscles and bones in your left foot really trying to seek balance and keep us up here, especially when we look mono hands it a little bit. 2 more moments. And then step. Right foot hip distance from left. Let's visit our chair pose, thumbs to the sky. And then stand into your mountain and appreciate your 2 feet on the ground. Still great to use, I think, the back of our chair or our wall. We will now stand onto our left foot, either hands on your hips or maybe your left hand onto your chair or the wall for this. Extend as you stand onto your left leg and hug that left hip in, your right leg out in front of you. Feel it turn out at the hip. Turn your toes up, and then one more time, turn it out, just so we're super clear on that action and where it's coming from. Make a kickstand out of your right toes. Hug your left hip even more convincingly into a midline, so we're not hanging out. Left hand on your chair or wall is a great idea. Some people trot it up into the right foot into the left shin, or right foot into the inseam of your left leg. Not a goal, just an option. And it's more likely with your foot in your thigh that you have to really keep track of not letting things collapse. Maybe right arm out to the side, thumb to the sky. Could even try that with your left arm, but just have it close by to anything that helps if there are bobbles and wobbles, which there inevitably at some point will be. And let's stay like this for a couple moments. Left hand onto your chair base. Bring your right knee towards your chest like we did with chair pose. And then step down into your mountain. I will switch my chair. You can probably just change sides on your chair, but I think I'll turn my back on you if I don't switch my chair. Find our mountain together. Right hand on the back of your chair or on your wall, so you can just turn and put the other hand on your wall. Left hand on your hip. Shift all of your weight onto your right foot. Take your left leg out in front of you, and from your hip, turn those toes out. Keep hugging the right hip to a midline. Turn your toes up. We'll do it one more time just to make sure we know where this is coming from. And then kickstand your left toes, or bring your left foot to the shin or to the inseam of your thigh. So left foot, right leg. Left arm can go out to the side, thumb to the sky. Maybe right arm out to the side, thumb to the sky, even if it's short-lived. Couple moments here. Return your right hand onto the back of your chair or your wall. Take your left hand on your hip. Turn your left knee to the sky and then step down into your mountain. Again, I will maneuver my chair. You don't have to. Facing your chair, or at least having access for one hand on your chair. Once again, shift your weight onto your left foot, and this time, kick yourself in the butt with your right foot. Just bend that right leg back behind you. Take your right hand and reach towards your foot. I don't care if you ever reach it. Sometimes it's actually great to do it without holding on, because feel those muscles fire? Pretty crazy, right? Kind of amazing. Just 2 moments where we are. And then step it down, right foot hip distance from left, palms turn out, 2 feet on the ground, feels pretty good. Again, I move my chair so that I know that you can see me. And this time we'll step on our right leg, and right hand on your chair at the very least, I would say, maybe both. Standing on your right leg, bend your left knee like you're gonna kick yourself in the butt with your left heel, and then just reach towards it with your left hand, and that's plenty. If you hold on, that's great. That means it's leveraged, which actually makes the muscles not have to work quite as hard, but gets you in a little bit deeper. Both are great. 2 moments where we are. Now let go of your left foot, step hip distance. We are standing into our mountain. Once again, I will relocate my chair. And actually, I think that maybe the best way to do this for what I've got in store for us is to turn it sideways, so you have access to both the seat and to the back of your chair. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it all works. Finding, actually one more thing, if you want to use your blocks, turn them tall and off the sides of your mat, because I think some of us might want to use our blocks for. Hip distance with our feet, and we're in our mountain. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Now, stand on your right leg, bring your left knee into your chest, and then going sort of through when we did that T shape, either with your hands on the base of your chair or onto your blocks, but keeping your head higher than your hips. We go slow motion. It's like stop frame photography, and then you will step your left foot back and we're in a lunge. So we kind of step back from our chair and knee to chest into a lunge. Now step your left foot next to your, or hip distance from your right, hands on your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Chair pose, knees are bent, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Ready? While we stand on your left leg, right knee, into your chest, towards your chest, right? Now, slow motion like stop frame photography, hands to the seat of your chair, possibly onto your blocks as we step it back into our lunge. We're just super careful, head above hips. Couple moments here. All kinds of 1 foot, 2 foot balance kind of stuff going on here, huh? Speaking of 2 feet, right foot hip distance from left, hands on your thighs, inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips, chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Stand on your right leg, bring your left knee into your chest, so like a little loop-de-loop. Stop frame photography. Slowly, hands to your chair seat, or for a few of us to the blocks. Step back with your left foot, we're in a lunge. And then step your left foot, hip distance from your right, hands to thighs, inhale your heart forward. And exhale, hinge at your hips. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky, stand on your left leg, right knee into your chest. Stop frame photography. We seesaw through a little bit of a letter T and our hands come to the chair or onto our blocks, and we step back into our lunge for a moment. Right foot hip distance from left, hands onto your thighs, inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Stand on your right leg, left knee into your chest. We're doing that whole flow one more time. Stop frame photography. Seesaw your hands to your chair or to your blocks. Your left foot steps back into your lunge. Left foot hip distance from right foot, hands onto your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky. As we stand, you stand on your left leg and your right knee comes towards your chest. Stop frame photography as we float a little bit, hands to your chair, maybe eventually to your blocks in your lunge. Once you stick your landing, right foot hip distance from left foot, chair pose, thumbs to the sky. Stand on your right leg, left knee towards your chest. Gosh, this loop-de-loop goes on, doesn't it? Now pause here with your left knee into your chest. You can always use your hands on your chair. Tree pose with your left toes in a kickstand, maybe on your shin, maybe up into your thigh. So up to you. Use what you want or need for balance. Thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side. That can be using the chair. Now, maybe with the help of your chair, point your left knee out in front of you, kick yourself in the butt, and take your left hand towards that foot. Now, it's likely that you don't necessarily have access to the chair, so you can always put your hand on it and be in that variation where we don't actually hold the foot. Perfect. Hey, look, let go of your foot. We could step back into our lunge from here, either with your hands on your chair base or your hands onto your blocks. Yeah? Left foot hip distance from right, hands onto your hips, or onto your thighs, pardon me. Inhale your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Chair pose. Here goes. Stand on your left foot, bring your right knee towards your chest. Have a good sense of humor about this, because for all of us, this is a tricky little combination of things. Now, tree pose. So we will make a kickstand, put our right foot into the shin of our left, or put that right foot into the inseam of our left leg. And you can keep using your chair if that's helpful. Thumbs to the sky, maybe with both hands, maybe just one, all good. Keep hugging that outer left hip in. Bring your right knee towards your chest. Kick it back behind you. You might reach towards it, so right hand, right foot. or maybe you're using your hand on your chair and just doing the variation where you pretend or you reach a little bit back. We're in a very good position to step into our lunge. So our slow photography steps us back into our lunge. And then right foot hip distance from left. Hands on your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Chair pose, thumbs to the sky. And then simply stand into your mountain. So there's a lot, many a loop. We really haven't paused in a moment. Let's take a really juicy moment to pause. 2 feet on the ground. Inhale, chair pose, thumbs to the sky, and then exhale, hinge at your hips and hands on your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, your hands to your chair or your hands onto your blocks. Step your left foot back, and this time lower your back knee. So this is where your folded blanket or towel might really want to go underneath your left knee. Now you can use the seat of your chair for this next part, or you can use your 2 books or blocks. Humble warrior, both hands inside of our right foot. And we want to keep our head above our hips here too. There'll be a little bit more of a stretch. We're much closer to the ground. We've been doing all kinds of balancing things. For some, forearms on those blocks with lots of length to your spine might feel like the perfect fit for a stretch. Last few moments here. Now, come up onto your hands if you're on your forearms. Straighten your front leg and take your other block or one of your blocks to the outside of your right foot. Straighten your right leg and curl your toes back. All of this can be happening with your hands on the seat of your chair instead. Keep the length in your spine. Think hinging at your hip. A few moments of silent meditation here. The next thing that we're going to do, there's a lot of different options, and one of them will be for you, but if they're not all for you, don't worry about it. So there's a pose called single pigeon, and I like to use my bolster or actually a block maybe for it. I'm going to give you a bunch of different ways in which you can do this, but let's bend our right knee, and then we walk our right foot over to the left a little bit, and probably sit on either a block or on our bolster, and then we will straighten our left leg out behind us. So remember when we did our stop frame photography extension behind us? That's what we're doing here. One of your tall books can go underneath your hands. I like to keep my back toes curled under. If this pose doesn't work for you, instead maybe what you do is bring yourself gently to a seat and cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh and sit tall. And you'll notice that I'm sitting on a block for this one too. So you could do single pigeon. If neither of these work for you, lie on your back and do reclining pigeon as we often do. So I kind of want to give you agency to choose what it is that feels okay in your body, and then let's stay with it for a little silent moment together. If this single pigeon feels like it's too intense on your right knee, that's a sign that one of those figure 4 options might be better, or that you sit on something even taller than your book or block. If you sit on your bolster, that will probably take that pressure off of your knee. Pressure is a little different than pain. So pain, we don't endure. Pressure, investigate it, make sure that it's not too much. My guess is if you're in single pigeon, you're also really feeling a stretch on the front of your left leg, your back leg. Now lean to your right if you're in single pigeon and unwind. Let's set our blocks up and come onto all fours. So blocks off to the side if that's what you're using. Your chair should be pretty much in place. Once we're on all fours, we will step our left foot forward to humble warrior. This is your time to maybe take your padding underneath your right knee. Both blocks inside or both hands on your chair. Perhaps you come down onto your forearms, but we're keeping a long spine and our head above our hips. You might keep the back toes curled under as part of what's taking care of your back knee. And then come up onto your hands and transfer one of your blocks to the outside of your left foot for a straight-legged half split. Of course, you can be using your chair instead. It's a hinge at our hip, curling those left toes back, plenty of length through our spine. And then if you like single pigeon, remember, bend that left knee, walk your left foot over to the right a little bit. I would say props are very much our friend for this. You can recline your pigeon instead, or sit with your ankle on top of your knee, maybe even on top of your block. In your single pigeon, I think it's nice to have your hands either on a tall block, or that's another great use for the seat of your chair. And then I tend to curl my back toes under and just see if I can kind of spin my back thigh to the ground. That is not forceful. That's just curiosity. I'll be silent for a couple moments here. Now, just like you got to make your own choice about which kind of pigeon you hung out in just now, make your own choice about how it is that you would like to end our practice. So let's come out of this single pigeon mindfully, lean to your left. It might be nice to waggle your legs out in front of you. Just give them a little waggle. You probably have some proppage to move off to the side. And then you could sit in a cross-legged position, or lie down on your back, maybe lying down on your back with your feet wide and your knees falling in on each other feels particularly good to you. Snuggle your shoulder blades underneath you. You can straighten your legs or not. Close, maybe cover your eyes, and then fall into the floor for your rest and digest. Shavasana final meditation. And you're welcome to finish the practice just staying here lying on your back, since I kind of gave you a shorter Shavasana today. If you feel that you want to sit upright, just bring your knees into your chest and roll to either side and sit with your palms up or down. But it's great to just stay lying on your back if you're comfortable with that. Maybe you will feel a deeper appreciation for 1 foot, 2 foot, the balance required even just to walk on the planet. And of course, to stand tall through it all. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.